Hey everyone, back again with another live stream. And I discovered something today that I didn't realize. Um, don't know if it's common knowledge, and maybe I'm just naive and I just don't know what the whole process of uh, New Comic Day is. But apparently, New Comic Book Day comes in two parts. The DC stuff comes in on Tuesdays, and the rest of the stuff comes out basically on Wednesdays. So I went by today because I was in the neighborhood and I checked out a couple things. That I need, and, I wanted to make sure that they put my things on the pull list, and they said you could take your DC books. I don't know, they said that I could take my DC books, that I could take a couple other things too, which is actually really good. So now I'm discovering why people are actually making their you know uh, buy lists and all that stuff a day or two before, because the comics are there a day or two before and they're reading them. So stupid me. Now I know. So that being said, I'm calling this part one because there was a bunch of stuff that I picked up today. More than a bunch of stuff, mostly new, but there was some stuff that was kind of newish, and some things that I, got from not only a dollar bill, the three for a dollar bill. So I'll show you what I picked up today. You can let me know what you think, and show this to the side. And let's get started. We don't want to make this a super long video. And as usual, I picked up a bag of plastics, poly bags for comics, modern comics, because as fast as I get them, that's how fast I run out. Why? Because comic shops don't provide comic bags with their new titles, which drives me absolutely nuts. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know what changed over the past 20 years, where comic book stores just decide they're not going to put bags or boards, but at the very least, bags on their new comics. That's me. So that's my rant about comic bags today. And probably when I do part two tomorrow, you'll probably see the same, gripe out of me. And I think it's going to happen every time I, go to the comic shop because it annoys me. But that's me. So let me pull these out first. So these were in a three for a dollar bin. And what I like about this place is they have it right by the register. And the three for a dollar bin, I usually find a whole bunch of weird stuff that I never would find in other places. So it gives me an opportunity for really cheap to pick up a couple of comics, check them out, and appease my curiosity when it comes to this. This first one here is Rascal number 15 by Jeff Smith. I have no Razzle. I have no idea what this is about. It looked pretty weird and interesting. It's a black and white comic, and I'm actually contemplating doing something that is so taboo. And I don't know. I'm gonna say something that I'm considering doing right now. Uh, and the comic community, if anybody watches this video, or if you're gonna jump on while it's live, let me know if what I want to do an attempt is really, really bad. So this is a black and white comic. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna appreciate it. I'm really considering coloring the whole thing, so I could practice my pencils and colors. Now, yeah, it's gonna probably destroy the value of the book, if there's any value to this book. I think that every comic has some value, regardless if it's obscure or not, or unknown, or whatever the case is. There's something because there's always somebody that's willing to purchase it. It's just a question of how much. But I've been very eager to actually grab a black and white book like this and actually color the whole thing. Probably use colored pencils to do it. If you're watching this or if you're watching on the replay and you think I should do that, let me know. If you think I shouldn't do that and it actually be a holy crap, it's thundering and lightning and everything tonight. It's some nasty weather. Um, if you think that's a bad thing to do and it would ostracize me from the community, not that it really matters. Like I'm gonna do whatever I want to do anyway, but um, if it's really that bad and it's offensive to the artists that made this book, um, that's when I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna put this aside and remember this book because I'll bring it up again at the end because I think maybe that's what I'm considering doing. You let me know if that's bad or not bad or whatever the case is. Um, so the other book I got is Rex Hellwig #1 from Black Cat Comics. I have no idea what this is. It's really weird. Again, these are not in the greatest shape, but three for $1. What are you gonna expect? Sometimes you get some decent shape books, but I got that. I got this. I got this thing called Killapalooza. Pretty interesting. This by Wildstorm actually, which has pretty decent art in it. But again, I picked it up based on this cover and title. Actually, look at this cover. It looks like a whole apocalypse is happening and Killapalooza and the whole nine. I'll check it out. Interested in that. And then Hellhound: The Redemption Quest #1 by Epic Comics. Love the comic, the cover. Like the title. Looks like it has to do with something with monsters or vampires. Definitely gonna read it. And if it's terrible, I probably won't read it again. If it's really good, I might try to track down more issues of it. And that's the whole point of trying to get these cheap comics, just to get myself aware of other stuff that I normally wouldn't get. So it's not about hunting. For me, it's not only about hunting those valuable key issues that everybody's trying to attain and like show that you're the super genius that nobody else is, and finding it in the dollar bin or a quarter bin or whatever bin. Um, it's not about that with me. It's about actually finding cool stuff that I would not have touched previously for low cost prices. And if I like them, I continue with them. It gives me a chance to give certain books that I would never uh, give the opportunity. Here's another black and white comic. This one is called Joe Sin, #1. One of four. Joe Sin. Pretty interesting cover. Again, it's black and white, but the pages are not as white as the ones in here. So if I was going to do some coloring, it's probably going to be on this one that has a whiter surface to be able to work off of. Again, I'm putting that out there. If anybody's just jumping in right now, I'm really consider coloring one of these black and white books. Not to be offensive to the artists, just because I want to practice my coloring skills and see how it looks in the actual comic. Oh, and this is the last three for $1 book that I got. This is the Ultimates, which I believe is a second series of the Ultimates, the all new Ultimates, and got it purely on the cover. And the other thing is because it was three for $1, I just had to pick another book, so I picked this one up. Really nice cover. You'll see in the stack why I'm interested in the Ultimates. I'll get that towards, I guess, when I get there. All right, so let's get past that. And this was actually a great cover that I found on the rack right next to the recent Amazing Spider-Mans that were there. It's a variant issue of number 10. I don't have many issues of this new Amazing Spider-Man run. I think it's up to like I want to say 70 or more or less, somewhere around there. And I really don't have much of that. I got that number 55 cover, which is really nice. I picked up a number one, and maybe I have a couple other issues scattered. But I saw this cover. It was for cover price, and it's a beautiful cover. And at the same time, why not? I mean, they're only up to number 70, and I don't feel that this run of Amazing Spider-Man has gotten very expensive. So why not? I figured I get it. Cover price. I think this is Campbell that did this cover, which is like I said, it's a beautiful cover, and got it strictly for the cover. No other reason, and the fact that it's Amazing Spider-Man early in this run, and maybe I'll go through that whole process of building up that whole lot. I'm not quite there yet. All right, and then the other issue that I got here is this. This is where the DC stuff starts. So I got a copy of Fortnite Zero Point number 6, and as anybody knows, I've been picking these up for my son. He loves this Fortnite game, and there's some kind of codes that you plug in by getting the comics, and he has to make some big monster or Batman or something. I don't know what he makes out of it, but he apparently likes the stories. He told me he likes the stories. I haven't read any of them. He's been reading them. He likes the stories. He likes the fact that he gets these special codes out of it. So I make him happy. I think this was the last one, so I'm happy that that's over with, because these things are freaking $5 a pop for a damn code. But I'm glad he's getting a good story out of it. So that's purely for my son. Then the next book. Oh, let me show you what I got here, and I'll tell you why I got these. Okay, so I think people have heard me talk about this a little bit in past videos or somewhere, or at least I'm talking to myself. I don't know, but I love this series so far. I got number 1. I fell in love with it. I got a couple issues of number 1. By accident, I got those couple issues, actually. I won them through a couple things that I did, and one of them I got by accident twice, and I ended up getting like 4 copies of number 1. That being said, I don't want to get into this crazy buying multiple issues of everything, but this series is one that I feel very confident in as far as being a very good series, a successful series. Forget about the fact that I like it a lot. I'm going to get them for my personal collection. So what I did was I saw this cover. It's a beautiful cover, and I picked up 3 of them. Now you can tell me, why did you get 3? Did you not need only 1? No. I picked 3 because this is my mindset. I want 1 to comfortably read and not feel about destroying it or crinkling it or whatever I do to it when I'm reading it. It's my reader copy. And then I got another copy, which I think I'm going to keep to the side as a set that I'm going to attach to 1, and I'll probably get 2 of each going forward to complete the set, because I believe this is only an 8 or 9 part series. So I'll have 1 reader set and 1 better set. Why? Because I have a lot of faith that this is going to be one of these spec books. I don't like specking a lot, but this is something that's cheap spec for me. It's $3.99 an issue. At the end of the run, if it's 8-9 issues, 4 times 8 is blah blah blah. Come on, help me, people. $32. I spend an extra $32, and I'll have a full set. And I'm making sure that the one that I put to the side is in a really nice shape, and I could possibly grade it if I want to later on. And then I'll still have this in case I want to get rid of this. This is all part of called letting the hobby fund itself. I feel that these are going to hold their value going forward. I'll probably be able to either sell the set or trade it for something else that I would want at that point. I don't mind trading actually. I actually prefer trading rather than selling because I always feel bad when I sell something because I just gave it away for money when I could have given it to somebody that really wants it, and they could have given me a comic in return that I really want. So I prefer the trading, but we'll see. This is my spec set, and this is my personal set. So why do I have a third one? There's a couple of people that I know that are like they're not near comic stores that really order a lot of copies of these, and they always run out. So um, I'm gonna offer this to one of the people that I figured I'll pick up. They've did the right thing for me, so I got the third copy to give to them because they wanted it. So I'll reach out to those people, and whoever claims it, I guess, first for me, I'll just send it to them. And they've done the right thing by me too. Like when I couldn't find a copy of something in particular, they'll send it to me. It's a good back and forth thing. It's a good thing with the community as well. And then the last thing here is the cover B of it, which is actually a glossier, nicer cover, which is nice. Um, but I like this cover better. I really do. I think this is a much cooler cover. But I did get this because I want my one spec set, to have the cover A and cover B because they're making cover A and cover B of everything. So that's what I got. So that's my big spec of the day. Then the next thing is Sleigh Bells by Bad Idea. This is a one shot. It seems like a very goofy book. It's a high grade book, the way Bad Idea normally makes their books. I like, this goofy stuff every so often, as long as it doesn't take itself seriously. Um, but I also made a conscious decision to continue to buy Bad Idea books up until the end of the year. Now, if by the end of the year they don't get themselves together and the quality drops, because I haven't read this yet, but I have read ENIAC and I have read Tankers. Tankers is actually really good. I like Tankers a lot, but I read ENIAC and I read Tankers, and I enjoy those books. And those are the ones that I primarily have been buying from Bad Idea. So I made a conscious decision. I told my LCS, put me on the pull list for whatever comes out for Bad Idea, at least up to the end of the year. There's not a lot of comics that they're coming out with. There's like 4 or 5 different series that they're going to come out with. If they're good, I'll continue going forward with them. If they are bad and they don't get themselves to continue to shape or whatever, they're done, and that's it. So I was lucky enough. I don't think anybody knows what the rules are anymore. There's no rules with Bad Idea since supposedly they're like closing. I don't know, but I was able to get this copy today, which I was happy. Wish they gave me all my Marvel books today, but hey, whatever. Then the next book over here is The Conjuring, #2. And right next to it is The Conjuring #2. This cover and this cover. Why did I get these both? I got screwed up. Hey Slim, how's it going? Hey Captain Ramius, how's it going, guys? Whalesville was a good but only one shot. Actually, Captain Ramius, I did pick up. I do have um, a copy of Whalesville. I have not read it. I got it through an auction that was part of a lot that was in there, and I kept it the way it was as I got it. It was like a nice mylar and everything, perfectly mint condition. I didn't give it a shot to read it yet, but I want to. I'll try to give it a shot. I forgot that Wellsville was one of those books that came out from Bad Idea. So I do have that too, in addition to ENIAC and whatchamacallit, Tankers. So now I have this thing too, Sleigh Bells. Look at this. You got you got a Santa Claus here, a bunch of little kids running around and freaking out. This hillbilly guy over here with a shotgun. Santa's got Uzis. It's called Sleigh Bells. It's a one shot. It's a nutty book. This is a crazy book, so it should be a fun read. But I screwed up. I really screwed up. I thought they were two different books. This is not one of the ones I want to get all the variant covers of. I'm just trying to. I read the first one. It was okay. The first issue was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay, but it was enough to make me say, okay, I'll try issue two because maybe it'll take me somewhere. Now I'm annoyed. I got both copies, but whatever. This is the copy I actually was more intrigued by because it's got that like crazy, almost like 70s look poster that's on there. But all right, now I got two copies. Whatever. Whatever. Then the next book over is this thing. I don't know if this came out this week or last week. I did, I saw somebody reviewing it, and I didn't have it last week. What the hell? Oh, what the hell? I did it. The same thing with these. They're the same issue. It's both number one. I was about to say I think number one came out last week, and another one came out this. They're both the same issue. Number one. I hate these variant things. Yeah, I think it was last week, Captain Ramis. This damn variant thing is making me crazy. If I had to pick out of one of these two copies, I would have picked this one. This was my number one choice. But I thought there was two different issues. What a pain in the ass. I think I'm going to have to do a giveaway, people, with these extra copies. I don't want them. I don't want these extra variants. It's just taking up too much room. This one is another one I think came out last week that I skipped on. That I said since I'm there, and it's only DC Day, and they will not let me buy any Marvel because they're annoying at the LCS. Besides not giving me my comics in damn poly bags, they won't give me the issues even though they have them there. Anyway, I heard a lot of good things about this comic as well. Slim, you got the same ones as me, Parasome. Do you think it's actually a good issue? Is it a good story? Is it at least worth it that I got two damn covers as well? Is it worth it or is it not worth it? I don't know. You let me know. The only one I bought multiple copies of by design was this. This was, for me, I wanted this. These ones were a complete screw up. And that's my fault. I go and pick things up. I look at the covers. I assume things, and I just grab them. But this I heard a lot of good things about as far as vinyl is concerned. So, figured I'd give it a shot. They had a few copies there. I gave it a shot. This one I was excited about. I really like the series a lot, and I missed the boat. It's not that I missed the boat. It's just that my local LCSs just didn't have enough copies, and they were selling out before they even got a chance to go on the racks. So I didn't get the opportunity to get a lot of these in first print. So now as they're coming out, I'm getting them. This, I believe, is the second print. Let's see what print this is. Nice cover, by the way, too. Second printing. So this is the second print of issue number 3. I haven't read it yet. I heard this is going to end, I think, at 5 or 6. It's a mini series, so I'm trying to hold myself back from like jumping because I got issue 4. I haven't read that yet. I got issue 2, which I did read. I'm still trying to get a copy of issue 1. I think I have an ordered copy of issue 1, like a second or third printing. So the only one I actually read was number two, which I liked a lot. And I got some feedback from people that read it, how good it is. I basically know the storyline. I just don't want any spoilers for it. So, and now that I have three, I guess I'll read three and four, and I'll backtrack to one when I finally get that one. And try to put it all together, and hopefully, when five comes out, that'll be fine. But this is a great story, a really, really good story. So, highly recommend it to anybody that likes this crazy Sherlock Holmes stuff. Oh, here's another one that I got this week that came out last week, but I skipped on last week because I kind of said to myself, Gamma Flight sucks. And I still think Gamma Flight might suck, but it is a number one, and I might as well give it a chance. I don't want to just say it sucks and not give it a chance. So I didn't really like fall in love with the cover that I saw last week. I guess the A cover, but this was like just sitting there. They had a couple copies of this variant cover, and it kind of looks pretty cool. So kind of almost looks like Geiger over here or something like that, but it looks kind of cool. And I figured, let me give it a chance. And if it sucks the way I think it's going to suck, I'll never buy another issue. I hope I'm wrong. That's me being open-minded. My shop ran out of Nottingham quick. Might have to get in trade. Yeah, everybody's having that same issue with Nottingham. Nobody expected it to be a really great hit, and it's a really great story. It's annoying that they didn't amp up their. You have people that are asking for it, and they're not amping up the orders. I don't get it. But this is the new stuff. It's the end of the new stuff that we have here. You see the new stuff, or new-ish stuff, for part A, because this is DC Day, even though I got a bad idea comic. But couldn't resist looking at the dollar bins, and I got some stuff that's cool. Don't disregard the cover tag. All their books that are in the dollar bills, like $4 or $5, $6, $3, $7. I guess they pull them out if they don't sell for X amount of time and just stick them in there. So the first one is 0 Hour. Crisis in Time. The original reason why I picked this one up is I thought it was a sketch variant, and I've said this in the past, where if I could get cheap sketch cover comics, I buy them so I could practice doing some art on them. So initially, I thought that's what it was, and when I took the closer look, I saw it's 0 Hour, number 0, and I never read this story. So I'm like, why not start with number 0 of 0 Hour? Maybe this would be a good one because they got a lot of those 0 Hour books in there, and if they're a good read, why not? I could probably get the whole run at $1. So there we go. Then the next book that I got, this was really, really interesting. I was really intrigued by this, and this is my weird habits of weird comics that I like to pick up. Sisters of Sorrow. Sisters of Sorrow. So I saw this cover. It's got a nun with two Uzis, and she's got like garter belts with knives and all this stuff on her. Great image, crazy image. I'm sorry about the Catholics that are freaking out with the nun imagery and violence. I didn't draw it. I just bought it. I don't want to go to hell. So loved it, and right behind it was number 2, which is just as stunning of a cover. I have no idea what this comic is. If anybody in the chat knows about this book, say something about it. I'm actually really looking forward to reading this. It's by Boom Studios. I don't know when it came out. It couldn't have come out that long ago. And obviously, people do not like it because it was in the dollar bins. but maybe I'll like it. I don't know if there was anything past number 2. So I got that. And then the next book over is X-Men number 4. And the only reason I got this is because I don't have any of these X-Men comics. I have number 1. This all came out during the time when I wasn't collecting. So I'm trying to put the pieces together. Now that X-Men, the new X-Men again, number 1, which I hate the rebooting. I hate the fact that they keep rebooting the damn number over and over and over again. Just make it one long series. I don't mind seeing 1,000, number 1,000. It worked for Detective Comics. Why can't it work for everybody else? I don't get that. I like that. It gives me continuity. It makes me feel better when I'm reading the book, that like I'm part of something when I'm reading it, the history of it. This doesn't make me feel history, but that being said, because I don't really know much about these comics, I found it really interesting that you got, I think this is Professor X. I'm assuming this is Magneto in a suit. And look at this. This is Apocalypse. They're all in suits just walking down like the gangsters or something. So for $1 and the shape of it, all these issues are, if not near mint, very fine plus, but they're all like around near mint. Really nice little copies. So I want to get that, read it. X-Men number 1 is coming out tomorrow, which I think should be really interesting to see which direction they take. And then I got these issues of the Ultimates. The reason I got these is I have a lot of the early issues of Ultimates, which I really liked when it originally came out. I had stopped collecting around the time when all these came out. So I noticed that these ones are disassembled. Really interesting image on this one. You got Iron Man, Tony Stark with somebody about to do surgery to him. Looks pretty nuts. I love this. Is like reminiscent of those old sci-fi covers. So I like that one. This one pulled me in. And then I saw these right after. So I'm like, for $1 a piece, let me get this run and see what's the story. And then I took a closer look. Number 28. Rest in peace, Antonio Stark. So I guess he dies in the Ultimate World at this point. I don't know. Did not get Sisters of Sorrow. Slim, I'll tell you all about it. I don't know when these books came out. I'm gonna do a little research. I'm gonna read them, and if they're wild, I'll do a review on them. If they suck, I could do a review on them as well. It's up to everybody if they want that. Then the next book was number 29, End of All. This is part of the disassembled thing again. And then the last one over here is number 30, Disassembled. This is interesting too, because it's got some lady with a Kang mask over here, almost like a Kangish uniform. I don't know what the story is behind that, but it's intriguing. It was part of the same series, so why not? Can't go wrong with that. Then the next one over was actually a big bonus for me, and I was really surprised that I found this there. Again, most of the stuff they have in those boxes are in pretty decent shape. And this was in great shape, considering I don't even know what the year is. I'm going to read the year right now. Let's see what this is. Watch it fall apart on me since I'm opening it up. Actually, no. It's actually really good shape. It's got a little bit of dirt here that could use some cleaning. 1967. Top Comics, The Flintstones, number 2. This doesn't even say what number it is here. Flintstones number 2. Beautiful shape for $1. A 1967 book in this shape for $1. Look how clean this cover is. And it could use a little bit more cleaning. But this is like in this shape right now. This is easily a very fine book. All right, maybe very fine. Maybe just fine, but I think it's very fine in this condition. And this could easily jump up. Like if I wanted to grade this, I could probably get this to go to a 9 or 9.2 without having a lot of hard time. There's a couple of ticks across the edge that are color breaking, and it's got this blunted corner right here. But other than that, I mean, maybe 85 to 9, somewhere around there. But for $1, I was not gonna let this sit there for $1 and be unloved. You know, you might like Flintstones, you might not like the Flintstones. They're an iconic character, and apparently it was for $4. You see, it was apparently for $4 for a while there, and nobody was taking it. If I ran into it, maybe I would have taken it at $4 in this condition. I'm glad I got it for $1, but surprising. And then I got this on nostalgia. I remember getting this in the '90s or in the 2000s. This is like a really like freaky animal fighter kind of book. Isn't it a good, a nice copy, Slim? I was so excited when I found this. I know this is not the sexy thing. It's not Fantastic Four or Spider Man or Hulk or Avengers or whatever the case is. It's not that kind of a book. But when you find a 1967 book in this condition, just sitting there for $1, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna make it beautiful and loved. It's gonna stay in my collection. No, I like it. So going back to this, Samurai Cat #1. It's one of these, gratuitous violence, you know, animalistic humanized animal fighting kind of situation. Back then, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were super hot, and everybody wanted to make an animal that could fight like them. So why not? Thanks, Slim. It is a beautiful copy. I love it. So this gave me a little bit of nostalgia. For $1, I got it. Just to have it. It's one of the ones I had lost. Should be a fun read. Uh, and that's it. Honestly, I got it more to read it one more time because it just brought some memories back. So that's it that I got today. But I need to bring back a question to everybody and get your honest. I really want a honest opinion about what I should do. I really want this opinion, and I want it to be non-judgmental. I showed this in the beginning of the video. It's black and white pictures. I don't know if this is a good story. I don't know if it's a bad story. But one, I got it because it's intriguing. The Razzle #15. Don't know what it's all about, but I got it for $1. So why the hell not? I got it. But part of me that picked this book up was for the reason of actually taking this entire book, using colored pencils and coloring the entire book from page 1 all the way to, I don't know how many pages this is. Now, obviously, this is not a great page, not a great condition book, which doesn't matter to me. My question to the community is, am I being disrespectful to the artists if I sit there and do that? Is it something that, it's one thing for a 3, 4-year-old, 5-year-old that has a comic to go and like start coloring and scribbling on it and writing stuff on there, and another thing for a grown adult to actually do it consciously. I don't know if it's the right thing or the wrong thing to do. You know, I don't know. I even if it's a horrible book, I'm split right now. Should I do that? I'm not even concerned about values or anything. Even if this is like, all right, obviously, if it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, I wasn't going to take a crayon to it because I'd be stupid because that thing is worth a ton of money. Um, but a book like this, even if it was worth $5, $10, I need to practice right now. I need to practice the same way I buy comics that have covers and do custom covers on them. Well, it was probably their dream to have it colored anyway, but money ran out. You want to hear something funny, Captain Ramius? I think you might be right. A lot of indie guys would love to have their things in color, and they don't because they do run out. So maybe you're right. Maybe I'd complete their vision by doing that. Maybe. Razzle. They'll appreciate me getting practice. Has anybody heard of this book before? Razzle? Look at this guy. He's got Maya on his arm. What the hell kind of book is this? It was so obscure. It was so weird that I was like, you know what? I'm picking it up. I just got to see what this thing is all about. And I wish it was like a number one. Not that it's going to be valuable, Razzle, but I wish it was a number one so I could at least read the beginning of the story and not get it in there. But who knows? Maybe if it's a good writer, you'd be able to jump in at any point. Oh, look at this sketch that they have in there. This is actually, I actually like this rough look much better than this more refined look. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I kind of like that better. Anybody else pick up this Nice House on the Lake? Yeah. Anybody else as amped or excited about it as I am? Because I am really excited about reading this tonight. This is the first comic. This is the first comic that I picked up since I restarted collecting that I was able to pick up at a number one and actually get right into it and really enjoy it. Like, this literally was the only book that I picked up a number one of and said, I love this book. I can't wait till next month to get it. I've got other books that already were started that I got into, like Something Killing the Children. It took me some time to kind of get into it. Tankers, I was A couple other issues that I jumped into, I liked, but I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait till next month. This one, I literally couldn't wait until next month. I restarted Captain Ramius. I probably restarted, I want to say February, maybe February, March, somewhere around there. It wasn't January. Actually, maybe it was towards the end of the year, beginning of January. I started going to comic shops again once he started lifting a lot of the bans of opening and closing or whatever the case is, and I started going in there with my son because he was into it. He started having me dig into some of the stuff that I had left from my old collection, whatever survived my old collection. Um, he was getting into it, so I figured I'd make it like a father son thing. Let's go to the comic shop together and that kind of thing. And he got really into it. And and then the movies and the Disney Plus thing happened. So he was getting. My daughters were getting into it, and something got. I had a spark. I mean, I was a really strong collector, all the way up to the late '90s, early 2000s. I mean, I was buying a lot of books back then. Wish I had them all still. A lot of them I lost by some of them getting stolen. Other ones got water damage. Some of them got other kind of damages. No, I'm not gonna get into that because it gets me really sad to think about all those books that I lost because I had probably conservatively speaking, easily 40, 50 long boxes, somewhere on there. I had a lot of books. I had a lot of books. At least for somebody that collected from day one and kept everything. Because I never sold anything back then. I kept everything. And don't forget, I went through the 90s where I was buying duplicates of everything. I had every single X-Men up until like, I guess, 40, 30, 40, 50 issue 5. I'm talking about the second series. Um, Duplicates of. I had all the X Forces. I had all the Deadpools. Every single Deadpool you could think of, I had of that. I had the X Force 98s, the Cable 87 of New Mutants. Well, a lot of books, a lot of banger books, like stuff that I had that I compiled that I would buy from quarter bins and dollar bins when I was a little kid. And but there was no thing as a dollar bin back then. Quarter bins I would get when I was a little kid in the early '80s, taking $2-3 that my father would give me, and just coming back with a haul of comics for a quarter a piece. And those books that I got in there were like ridiculous books by today's standards. We're talking about getting the Iron Fists that nobody wanted back then, the Eternals, the um, Moon Knights, you name it. We're talking about some serious books that if I had them today, we're talking about thousands upon thousands of dollars because I kept them in pretty decent shape. Even though I got them out of quarter bins, I kept them in pretty damn good shape. A lot of old Avengers, a lot of old Spider-Mans, a lot of stuff. I had so much stuff. And I was left at the end of the day, I ended up, thank God, something in my mind had me set aside some stuff. A couple of really key stuff that had sentimental value. I had it in separate boxes for some reason that decided to, you know, you know, survive. But a lot of my big books, and a lot of books that I didn't think were big back then, and they weren't big back then. I had in my, average, big long boxes. And I had dividers. I was organized. Everything in plastic with backboards, etc., etc. Hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna go down memory lanes and nostalgia. So, from what the chat is telling me right now, it's okay to color this, but I'm gonna leave this question open, and hopefully people can leave a comment after this video stream is over on the main comment board, and I'll put the question out there, and maybe give it about a week before I do that, before I start coloring it, and the community starts to crucify me for doing that, and then I'll do it. But just want to give a quick update before I sign off on this bunny mask experiment that I'm doing. I don't have my own scanner right now. My busted, but I have uh, the ability to scan it, print it, color it. I get that, Captain Ramus, but I want to actually color it and see it in the book colored. That's where my mind is going right now. I want to see what it looks like when it's colored in there. Otherwise, I could just get a coloring book, but I want to see how actually true comic colored. But that's me. I thought about just scanning. I could get a coloring book and practice coloring, but I want to see it in actual, real comic. How it will look. Start at the back. All right. I'll start at the back. So I want to give everybody a bunny mask update. So if everybody saw that video I put up last week, as far as this experiment that we're doing with bunny mask and seeing if if FOMO was real on like books that all of a sudden got hype and stuff like that. The book didn't sell on eBay yet. I say yet because I had it automatically relist on there, and I'm gonna make a video just talking about that buddy mask thing experiment, because I think it's a really interesting experiment, and I think the community could benefit a lot from what the results we get out of it are. Um, I'm giving it another week because the activity was overwhelmingly slow on eBay this week. I think I had to do a lot with the holiday, and at the same time, it expired on July 4th, which I think didn't help it at all as well. But I did see others that sold at different days of the week, and I'm going to give out all the statistics in that video. But when I do, you'll see exactly what's happening with that. So that being said, I got some coloring to do, got some reading to do, I got some cleaning to do on this book. I got some cleaning and speculating with this set of books. And hopefully everybody didn't fall asleep during the stream. And if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed, I guess do that subscribe thing for me. It'll be great for the channel and the algorithm. I can't believe I actually have 50 people that subscribe to this channel and listen to my rambling. I'm shocked. I'm grateful, but shocked because I tend to ramble a lot, and I tend to be the only one that wants to hear what I have to say usually. Apparently, there's another 50 people that might have interest in the same thing, so I'm really appreciative of that. And because of the fact that I hit 50 people, I think I'm going to be doing some kind of giveaway. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet. I want to put some thought into it to give something useful, because you guys want me to give away a samurai cat? I could do that. Or you want me to give away some kind of mediocre book? I could do that. Or you want me to give away a nice house on the lake? I got a number one. I could do that. And I will do giveaways like that if the channel decides to expand. But I want to give away something a little bit personal, and something a little bit of me, and something I think that will you know what? I will give away that colored Razzie once it's done. Captain Ramius, I will do that. That is definitely personal to me, so I will do that. We'll do a contest out of it, or a giveaway, or some kind of thing to give away. I will do that. But actually, that goes along the lines of what I was thinking. I was thinking about making a couple of custom sketches, kind of like, gives a little bit of my artistic style, gives a little bit of my look. I'll put them in a nice size sheet and that kind of thing. I don't know if that's something that people would like. Maybe I'll make another video talking about what the community wants from me, because I'm not going to be putting like Hulk 181s on the giveaways because I don't have any. Although I used to have multiple copies of Hulk 182, and I used to have, I want to say, 3 or maybe even 4 copies of Hulk 180 in my old collection. Just never had that 181. But losing those is painful right now as well. One, Hulk was my favorite character back then. And Hulk 181 was always an expensive book. And it, they're pretty valuable now. And I had them in all decent grades. I think I had one really rough one of 180. But every time I would see another one, I would pick it up. And I'm talking about, I would pick them up for like $5-10 at a time back then, which was a lot of money for somebody that, barely putting any money together to get a date. Every time I would buy a comic, that would be, one date that I had a hard time going on. So whatever the case is, I'll definitely send out a color razzie, a razzle, whatever ill. I'm gonna read this first. I want to see this. What the story is. So I'll color this, and I'll try to do a couple of custom pieces. And if people want to like see custom pieces, maybe I'll put a vote or a poll of what character you'd want me to make. Um, that's if people like what I draw. If they don't like what I draw, then different story. Maybe I'll do a Venom in commemorating the Venom 200 thing or something along those lines. We'll see, but I'll put some thought into it. I want to thank the community for uh, really, actually, you know, being really kind and actually supporting this channel. I didn't think it was going to be anything. I did this as a goof, just to talk about my hobby and kind of almost document what I'm doing right now. Because the initial reason and the backing of this channel is my comic creation and reintroduction into the hobby. Um, Hoping one day in the near future I'll be done with my first issue of what I'm working on. And as time goes on, I'll give a little bit more information on what it is I'm working on. If you're connected to me on IG, you'll see some of the characters and some of my styles that I have on there, because every so often I'll just like pop a random sketch just to see what the public has to say about it. Hate it, love it, comments, tips. I'm really appreciative to all of the tips that I get. So there I go rambling again. So I'm going to sign off. I appreciate everybody for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Till next time, you keep collecting, and I'll keep recollecting. Thanks for joining me. Come on, how do you turn this off?